Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video, we are going to be resetting for July of 2024. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're here to do a little reset, and honestly, you guys have been sharing that you like my chit chat sit down videos, which it makes sense because if you think about it, considering I only vlog every now and again, maybe once a month, maybe, and typically I just come on here and like it's a very structured type of video, I guess, if you will, most of them. So it makes sense that one piece that's missing is the piece that people actually enjoy. So I'm here for it. I am Sir Talk a lot, so I can sit and talk somebody's head off. So that's what we're gonna do today. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about our June budget, and then we will go ahead and proceed with kind of recapping the month of June in other areas and prepping for the month of July. So let's start with finances, of course. In June, we were trying to save $12.50. We did not do that. We wanted to invest 15% of our paychecks. We did do that. If I'm being honest, that's something that's set up automatically, so it's pretty much an easy goal to accomplish every month, but I like to have it on here as a reminder that that's the number that we're at, and we would like to eventually continue to increase that, particularly at our full-time jobs. That's what that means. Our paychecks is our money from our full-time jobs. Obviously, there are seasons where we're investing a whole lot of money, but right now we're not doing that. So at bare minimum, we like to do at least 15% of our paychecks. We wanted to pay our monthly credit card bill, which we did do. We wanted to save $245 for sinking funds, which we didn't do. And I am thinking about nixing that, 86ing that all together because I simply just suck at it. By the way, I'm here with my iPad per usual. And I'm in my Notion, which you can probably see a screenshot, but you probably don't see that I'm in Notion, but I'm in Notion sharing with you all the things. I wanted to pay my medical bill, which I did do. I did have an outstanding medical bill from a couple of months, so I paid it when I went to the doctor. I also went to the doctor and I had a copay, so I paid it, I think, or maybe I didn't. I'm a little confused because obviously I swiped my card and I was under the impression that I was paying my copay and that outstanding medical bill, but I may not have paid a copay because that was my annual appointment, but I think I did pay it. So anyway, wanted to pay our Walmart Plus subscription, which we do. That is $98 every June. And the main perk that we get from that is free delivery. It's nothing in this world is free. So it's basically like prepaying for delivery. So we can purchase a notebook for 25 cents or place a grocery order for $200 or buy something from Walmart that's not available in stores and we don't pay any shipping. And I'm a Walmart girly through and through. Walmart raised me, and so we take advantage of that. It's a no-brainer if you're a Walmart person. I wanted to cancel Hulu. I don't know why that was on there for June when the Hulu needed to be canceled by July the 3rd. So maybe I was just putting it on here prematurely because we don't use it anyway. But anyway, that wasn't actually something that needed to be done in June. I wanted to get new fence estimates, which we didn't do because June was a hot mess. And honestly, I kind of quit planning things in June. I turned over a lot of the planning to my husband. Well, basically I just committed to planning what I was already planning. Like as an example, I planned our cousin's trip to South Beach, Miami. In addition to everything else that I plan in life, I'm just talking about what I was doing in June. I was planning parts of the family reunion trip, cousin's trip situation that's happening in July. And also, I'm in the process of planning our birthday celebration. I turned over planning to my husband, and I think that's why no fence estimates were, like, I just stopped doing anything extra. So I think that's what happened there. I wanted to complete our Q3 financial planning, which I have not done, but I am going to do that this week. And that video should be coming out after this one. And I am going to sit down and map out our finances for the next quarter for July, August, and September, which is something that I implemented about a year ago, and it has been bringing me so much peace. We were thinking about meeting with our financial advisor. He reached out to us to see if we wanted to meet to go over our accounts. But the fact is, we know what our accounts are looking like. There's really nothing to discuss until we are ready to start heavily investing again, which is not now. I wanted to donate to a cause, is what we're going to call it. I did do that. We did that. schedule my husband's hair appointment. First of all, I do not schedule his hair appointments. Maybe this was on here because my only guess is that that to do made it to my list so that I could remember that that's something that we have to pay for. But anyway, that didn't get done because it's not something I would do. Another thing was research other dog boarders. We were thinking about possibly having to board our dog elsewhere because our dog sitter was going to go into labor in June, and she did. But she didn't go in labor until she got induced on a particular day. So she was able to keep our dog basically because she wasn't going to be induced until like 2 weeks after we needed her to dog sit. What else? So I didn't end up doing that is what I'm trying to say, because we didn't have to, but it was on here because I was thinking if we might potentially need to if the baby were to come early. I wanted to buy her a baby shower gift, which I did do. I wanted to buy festival tickets. I don't know what festival we were going to, but we didn't do that. Stick to our Florida trip budget. I don't think we did that. I don't think we did too bad, but I didn't really like sit down and look at all of what we spent, but I don't think we did that. And then finalized plans for our family reunion, and I did do that. So we budgeted that we wanted to spend $6,697.38. We try to keep our monthly budget to around $6,500, and if I scroll down to our expenses, we ended up spending $6,569.18, and that was from our income from our full-time jobs. That did not include any side hustle income, so we did earn more than that actually. No, that was the end of May where my husband got the bonus. I was gonna say, did we get a bonus? So I got a mileage check in June from May. I got 2 paydays in June per usual, and then my husband got 2 paydays in June, even though we didn't work a single day. Technically, yes. Okay, so my husband's a football coach and a basketball coach in addition to a teacher. So he had a basketball camp in June, and they had a tournament. So he went to practice a lot, pretty much every day, every other day, and they had games pretty much every other day for the whole month of June. So technically he did work, but he didn't work as an educator. Technically, he just worked as a coach, which he does get paid extra for doing. So for our expenses, if you're wondering where all our money went, obviously we paid all of our bills. That's self-explanatory. But then what else do we do? I got my Scentbird subscription in June. I pay $18.39 each month for a little vial of a high-end perfume, and they send me a new one every month. It's supposed to be a monthly supply, but mine ends up lasting me a little bit longer. So I'm currently using Pure Sugar. Oh, is it gonna? Pure Sugar by Juice, and that's what that is. So I just get a 30-day supply of a high-end perfume, and I actually love it. We paid for our cocktail making class that we're doing this month, actually, and today's July 2nd. We're doing a cocktail class at the family reunion, or during the downtime. We are going to go do a cocktail class, so we paid for that. Let's see, what else did we pay for? We bought some alcohol and such to take for the Miami trip. We had to take our car to be serviced at Toyota, so we had to pay for that. I bought my dog a big bag of dog food and some treats and toys for $89.06. That's just an expense that was out of the ordinary, I guess. I had to pay my medical bill. We had to pay the IRS because we postmarked our check to the IRS when we were paying our taxes to the state, no, to the federal government back in April, because you have to pay your taxes before, I think this year it was April the 15th. Otherwise you might have to pay a fee, or you likely have to pay a fee. And we did that, but I didn't even realize that they never took out their money until June. So they didn't process that check until June, so we had to pay that. We did some excursions and things in Florida. We had to get a new battery for almost $300 for our car. So hopefully that will last. We've had that car, it's 2024, the car's a 2021. So I guess for like 3.5 years. So I guess I'm assuming the going rate for that battery, because we got the exact same battery, is going to be maybe like every 3.5 years. So hopefully we're good for at least 3 years with that. I had to get a prescription from Walgreens. We got our car cleaned for $11. y'all, that reminds me. I accidentally got a more expensive car wash than what I was trying to get. And so before I went through, obviously I was telling the attendant about it. And so he took my card. So he took my card and got me the actual car wash. And he said he was going to return the other money was going to be returned to my card. But now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I was supposed to, because I got that right before we went out of town for Miami, I think the day before, and I was going to go and I was going to wait for it to process and be returned to us. And I was realizing once we were in Florida, because it had been several days, that it cleared and it never was returned. So it was, I guess I was thinking it would just pin the whole time, and I'm realizing I never went and got that money back, and that was like $25. So I'm gonna do that this week because I needs my money. I don't know. It's like a month later, maybe like 3 weeks later. I don't know if they're going to pay me any attention. I don't know where the receipts are. I may not get that money back, but I'm realizing I need to figure it out. We went and got mani. Well, my husband got a mani, and we got pedicures for Miami. So that's something that we did. I had to go to the dentist and get a dental procedure, which I got the day before we left for Miami, which was psycho. So that was an extra expense. We got our lawn cared for, which was $80. I got the baby shower for the dog sitter, baby shower gift for the dog sitter. We gave our little cousin some money because it was her birthday, and we went to her birthday party. We got our lawn mowed again. So we're gonna have to stop doing that and just get our lawnmower fixed or get a brand new one, because I'm realizing between the $90 and the $80, that's $170 just for 1 month. And if we just take into consideration how much it would cost to continue to get our lawn mowed for even 1 more month, then we could have just purchased a new lawnmower or gotten ours replaced. So we need to figure out that. Let's see, what else happened? We went tubing, and well, it was basically like floating down the river. So we did that in the month of June. We did that with a friend. My godchildren were in town, and their cousin came too, and she was trying to get a Stanley Cup. So we went to Dick's Sporting Goods to look for Stanley Cups because they have a lot. And she was shy a few dollars, which we knew that going into it. And so I told her I would pay the difference. So I paid the difference for that. We went to Crumble Cookie and tried that. All of us, me and all the girlies. I did this like a relay game type of thing with my godchildren when they were here. And we barbecued. And that was, even buying the barbecue food was $140 for the barbecue. But it was my goddaughter's, her birthday was going to be in a couple days. So it was kind of like a birthday gift. But I also gave a bunch of money to them as part of the games that we did. We went to Dave & Buster's where we spent a few dollars. Oh, that was just me buying me and my friend a drink. What else did we do in June? There was something else that was significant. That was pretty much it. Oh, I just spent a lot. Okay, I spent a lot of money in June. We spent a lot of money in June because I just feel like we had to give. We didn't have to, but we were in positions where it felt appropriate to give in certain situations. So I don't know. I can't go to a birthday party and I don't give any money. I know that I can, but it's not within my ability to do so. So that did not happen. So anyway, we gave a lot of money in June and bought a bunch of stuff for people in June, but that is how our money went. No, that is where our money went in the month of June. And now let's go ahead and talk about our June goals. I always think talking about our finances is like the part of this that takes the longest. Okay, so in June, I wanted to take a personal day, which I did do. If you are new here, I thoroughly enjoy having a day. It's not like 24 hours, it's like 6 hours, I guess, where I just kind of do what feeds my soul. And I don't care about doing anything outside of that, just literally things that feed my soul. So I took a personal day in June. I wanted to read 2 books, which I did do, which we'll talk about when we get to, I guess, the July goals. Yeah. Or should we talk about them now? I feel like it's appropriate to talk about them now. So anyway, I'm going into my book tracker and I'm scrolling down, and I read in the month of June, The Coworker. In the month of June, I went to a reading event, and that's the book that I got because we did this book swap. And so naturally my husband wanted to read it with me. So I read the physical book, and then he read it using our like our online book thing, our Kindle thing. And so he read it alongside me. And then I also read, so that was The Coworker by Frida McFadden. That was a psychological thriller, nonfiction suspense. And then I also read The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. And that is like a fiction, literary fiction, children's book. Yeah, like that's what is categorized as. So those are the 2 books that I read in the month of June. And those were decent books. I definitely liked The Coworker. Some people don't like it because they don't like the characters, and the characters are kind of they are kind of whack. But I mean, they're all like they're just not good people. They just suck. But I still like the book. It was definitely something that surprised me, I guess. All right, so I wanted to, for self-care, schedule the OBGYN. Didn't do that. I wanted to do my nails, which I did. I did my nails twice. These were not my Miami nails, but these are my current nails. And then I also wanted to get a pedicure. So because I did more than I didn't, we're gonna mark that as achieved. For family, we did not do a single family project for the month of June. These are things that we have put off until the summer because in our minds we have more time, and we do, but we still haven't done a single one of these. So they have to get done at some point. We wanted to save $12.50. We did not. And we wanted to invest 15% of our paychecks, and we did do that. For relationships, I wanted to schedule my friend date. So I saw many friends in June. I saw lots of friends in June. Love that for me. Wanted to catch up with a friend, which I did do. Actually, my friends that I have here where I live, I only have a few friends that I've made, even though I've been here for like a decade. I saw all of them in June. The closer ones. I have a lot other friends, but like the ones that I actually schedule time to hang out with regularly, I saw and hung out with all of them. I wanted to host my family and friends, which we did because my friend came down with my godchildren, my goddaughters. I have 4 godchildren, 3 are goddaughters, 1's a godson, and then their cousin, my friend's twin sister's only daughter came. All the girls came. And so we hosted them. That was so fun. I wish for them to come back. That was so fun. We did all the girly things. I did hair, I did all that stuff. It was so fun. I wanted to book a flight for my niece, which I didn't do because she hasn't said anything else about coming down here. I don't even know if the girl's coming here for the summer. Maybe she'll come a few weeks in July. I don't know. I wanted to go to lunch with my coworkers because we were attempting to do that in May, or we like brought it up. So I was thinking we're not doing it in May because when we brought it up, it was the end of May already. So I'm thinking maybe we'll do it in June, but truthfully, we're off of work for the summer and ain't nobody got time for that. I wanted to donate to my cousin's fundraiser. If I didn't say that already, that's something that I did in June to her cheerleading fundraiser. And I wanted to give a baby shower gift to my dog sitter to show my appreciation. I just simply love the work that she does with my puppy girl. So because I accomplished more than I didn't, we're going to mark that off as achieved. For my exam, you guys, I wanted to schedule my study times, answer 15 questions when studying, review this exam book that my friend gave me, and take my exam and pass my exam. Well, I did everything except pass my exam because I failed the exam again. I cannot make this up. By 1 point. Again, this is my second time failing this exam. Make no mistake, it's a difficult exam. It doesn't really determine my worth. Like, the only thing that will happen once I finally pass this exam, which is the last and the hardest part of this independent licensure process, is that I will then be able to practice independently. And since I don't have any plans of doing that, it's not like it's life or death. If I never pass the exam, it would be fine, but I'm going to pass the exam. But yeah, isn't it weird? My friend was like, you failed by 1 point again. Literally, I needed to get 101. Nope, I needed 100 to get 102 of the questions correctly. I got, again, 101. I cannot make this up. I don't know how this is possible. I studied for the whole month of June. I read this whole exam prep book that covers pretty much every single modality, social work, intervention, Piaget, Maslow, every single, elements of psychology. It covers all of that. I read this book from top to bottom. I did practice. I practiced with and studied with my husband. I did everything. So it's just wild to me that I would fail again by the same percentage, I guess. even though I studied, because when I just went in there blindly to take it without studying, I got the same score. It is, I don't know. I'm not a good test taker, make no mistake. But anyway, that's that. Also, I wanted to, so I would put achieved, but for this one I simply can't, because even though I did do more of the things than I didn't, I completed more of the action steps towards the goal than I didn't, I simply cannot mark this off as achieved. So stay tuned for that. I wanted to secure 1 sponsorship, and I did do that. I wanted to publish 8 YouTube videos, and I didn't do that because I took off from probably like the 5th, the last video I filmed was the 13th, and then I didn't film again until like the 30th. So I took off like a good 2 weeks simply because I was studying, because I took my exam at the end of June. Went out of town to Miami Beach. We went to out of state to hang out with my friend and her friends and some of her family members. And then my godchild and children and friend came in town. So there was no extra time. There was no real quiet time for me to be able to film the type of videos that I film. And then I wanted to work out 3+ times per week, which I did do. So those were our June goals. Let's recap the month of June, and then we'll talk about my July goals and wrap up this video. Okay, so let's talk about some high moments from the month of July. High moments. Moments where I am so present and so elated. And I'm like, yes, this is what MLK died for. This is what Jesus died for. This is like it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. This is what my ancestors died for. Like, those are the high moments for me. Which the number one, obviously, was no work. I didn't work a single day in June at my full-time job. So obviously that was a high. South Beach, Miami is my favorite place in the world, in the whole world. I know, South Beach. It is. I don't know. I don't know. It's just my favorite place. So that was a high, being there for 4 days. Oh, we had a dating anniversary in June. So that would mean that we went out on our first date 11 years ago. We had that actually on Father's Day. Isn't that interesting? Oh, I put on here that my husband and I didn't have any beef during vacation, because when we did our mid-month check-in in June before we went on vacation, we were talking about how if we're going to have some beef, it's going to be when we're not in our normal element. It's probably going to be when we're on a vacation. And we didn't have any beef. It was also hard. It's kind of hard to have beef though when you're running around a city doing fun things with a group of 9. There were 9 of us in total, with most of them, most of them being my husband's blood relatives. So, and we shared a room with his cousins. So it was kind of hard to have beef in that regard, but we also didn't have any beef during our road trip down or our road trip back up or any of that. In fact, we didn't have any beef at all in the whole month of June. That should be a high, actually. Also, my goddaughter's visiting was a high. Oh, we volunteered at a soup kitchen. And I have to say, it has long been on my bucket list. You would think I would have done this already, given me as a person. You would think I would have gone to feed the needy before. Well, I'd never. So our aunt invited us to go, and we went. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I really simply thought I was just going to be standing there, maybe passing out trays, greeting people who came in, just doing something real calm and cute. First of all, I had to work the line. I was the bread person. So I put the bread on the plate. That was the last dish. And then I put the dish on top of the serving station, and then volunteers took those and like passed them out and stuff like that. So that was my job. That was fair enough. Even though I didn't interact with a single person, except the person to the right of me, which was my mother-in-law and my aunt. And then occasionally a worker, someone who worked there, would come like give us some direction or, tell us what to do basically, because some of us were new to that. My aunt's been doing it for years. So I did do that, but then afterwards we had to clean up. I was on my hands and knees scrubbing. I was sweeping. My husband was mopping. I mean, I was sweating like real sweat before, when it was over and when we were leaving. But it was still fun to have done that. It's essentially like a bucket list item that has been marked off. And then another high, even though I kind of complained, And I'm like, I really wish people would stop asking me for stuff, particularly money. It really is cool, I guess, that I do have the ability to give, because I could be on the other end asking for stuff. But anyway, that was another high. Let's talk about some lows. Oh, I went to this job interview. This job interview was so hard. Now, the job in and of itself doesn't seem too difficult, but the interview was wild. It was an hour long. There were 3 people in there. They went around asking me a bunch of questions. Questions like, some of them were pretty easy. Like, what symptoms might a person who has a diagnosis of schizophrenia display or demonstrate? That stuff is like textbook, you know, whatever. That was relatively easy. But then it's like the hardest question that they asked me, I don't know what the hardest question was necessarily. But anyway, more of the story is they asked me questions. They probably asked me 25 questions. It took like 50 minutes to get through that part. Some of those questions were difficult, but the hardest part of the interview was at the end where we had to role play. Now, you got to understand, I don't love interviews in general. But then second of all, I definitely am not really like an on the spot kind of gal. I like to be prepared, but nothing could have prepared me for that. And so anyway, we had to role play, and I was the clinician, and the person that I was role playing with was the client, and they came into a session and were sharing that they wanted to harm themselves. I guess I could say that on YouTube, to the furthest extent, I guess, let's put it that way. And so anyway, we had to role play that, and I was okay with it, but I was just like, wow, I had never done such a, like, my attention span, first of all, only really made it through, like, really, probably like 30 minutes. After that, I was checking out. Like, I wasn't thinking like, I don't want this job anymore, but I'm like, who wants, the job didn't pay, first of all, the job don't even pay high enough for me to have gone through all of that. That was one of the thoughts that I was thinking. Now, granted, this interview was literally just last week, and if they offered me the job, I would highly consider taking it. But I was just thinking, this interview is wild. I have interviewed for jobs that pay $50,000 more than that job, and the interviews weren't even that difficult. So I like that they had standards and they were weeding out the frauds. I was telling people that if that was their goal, to weed out the frauds, then they definitely achieved their goal. And they were such friendly people. We laughed and joked in between all these different questions that they were asking. But I was like, Jesus, all of this for this job. And the wild part is, somebody was like, what's the title of the job? I kid you not, the job, it's in housing. So I would be like helping people secure housing, a certain population of people. So I'm like, dang, this is a lot of work that's why I was taken aback. I didn't share that, but that's why I was taken aback. But I had told my friend, and she said, you know what? I interviewed with them in 2017, and the interview was hard. I was stumbling all over my words. And she said she didn't have to role play, but they asked her to create a treatment plan. Listen, maybe if you work in my field, maybe this is normal for you. But I have interviewed for a number of jobs in this field. I have held a number of jobs in this field, and that interview was wild. It was just far too long. Like, they should have cut those questions by half, for sure. I could have did the role play well, I did do the role play, but it definitely, I didn't mind the role play, but all those questions, I mean, they had to have gone around and asked each person like 6 questions. And then, no, probably more than that. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. It was so long. Anyway, then we went floating down the river, which seemed like an easy enough activity. But no, I got all banged up. I have bruises, scars, it's a mess. And then I failed my exam again. That was a low. Now, my friend was asking, she's like, you know, how you feeling? And we all know I'm not like the most emotional person, I guess. But I was thinking, like, it's not like I came home and I was crying and sad. I was just like, I will say, I told my husband this. If I were failing this exam, and let's say I was getting like 60s instead of hundreds. You need to be, typically you need to get there's different exams. Some of them are more difficult than others. But basically, you need to get anywhere between like 98 and 106 questions correct. It just depends on what type of exam they give to you. So if I were not getting in the hundreds and getting real close, I probably would be crying real tears when failing these. But every time I walk out, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I missed by 1 point. And that is annoying. But if I were getting low scores like 50s and 60s, I would probably be too embarrassed to even tell anybody. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. So anyway, that was a low. Let's talk about some lessons. You know, June, I didn't really have a lot of lessons because I feel like June just went by so fast. But we are taking line dancing classes. So I have learned in June, first of all, I know the Tamia line dance. So you're gonna have to start putting some respect on my name moving forward, okay? Because I got the Tamia line dance, my husband too. But we probably learned, we've been taking them since maybe April, maybe May, no, maybe like April. And we've probably learned 12 line dances or so thus far. But in June, because I don't know, I feel like we were really able to hone in on line dancing, and some of the sessions even went over because we just have more free time. And so we probably learned in June, I want to say maybe like 7 line dances. So June was a big month for line dancing. We also did salsa dancing in bachata. That was an excursion in Miami, and some of us went. Basically all the married couples went. There were other people there and other couples, but the married couples all went. And so we did that, and that was fun. And then another lesson that isn't as shallow, I guess, is that I feel like I'm growing in my perseverance because I have been working to build my perseverance. I really don't do hard things. And I think that's why my life is easy, because if things are hard, I pretty much don't want any parts of them. So I won't even try them, some of them, or if they're hard, or if I don't anticipate them being that hard and I learn that it's actually hard, I will quit something in a minute. And so I just feel like I have been really in June is when I really realized that I have been putting my best foot forward in trying to stick things out. I don't know, it's a good quality, but it's just, yeah, if things are really hard, it doesn't matter what it is. I remember my husband was cutting the grass once, and I don't know why I thought that having this electric self-propelled lawnmower and mowing the lawn would be easier than what it was. But he was like, here, if you want to do it, here you go. So I tried to do the smallest of sections. And it was very difficult. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done physically, mowing the lawn, just that little piece of the lawn. And so I vowed to never do it again. And so even small stuff like that, if it's hard, I literally quit and I want no parts. But I am growing in that area. I feel like I'm learning to have more perseverance. And then finally, let's talk about my favorites. So I'm helping plan a digital planning conference. And that has been something that's been pretty fun in June. Just like getting all the details and all of that. That's been fun. Line dancing, Freedom McFadden, reading with my husband. I think, we read one book together in June. My second hole. Oh, my second hole. I was like, what the heck is that? Not today, but I have been utilizing my second hole. I got this when I was younger because my mama had it and I wanted to be her. And so I wanted to be like her. And so I got a hole. I was a teenager. And then my sister got one. So that was like a family thing that we had, because my mom didn't have tattoos. I don't have tattoos. My sister has tattoos. My mom had 2 girls and a boy, 2 daughters and a son. And so that was just one thing that we all had in common, our second holes. And it kind of just trickled down. And then we all also returned to our natural hair together. Later on we would have other things in common. Like they had children, I didn't have any. So anywho, more of the story is that was one thing we all had in common. And I kind of forgot about it for 10 years or more. But I don't know why I thought it would be closed up, because it's been here for half my life practically. And so, no, more than half my life. Probably half my life. I feel like I probably got it when I was like 16, 17. And so I just put in some hoops in June, and I was like, oh, like cute. And so anyway, I'd been wearing earrings in both holes, but not today. And then our cousin's trip was a favorite. Floating down the river was a favorite. And then my no makeup looks. I'm wearing makeup. You may not be able to tell, but I am. I have on mascara. I have on the tiniest bit of concealer to add dimension. Not to conceal, but to add dimension. I think I have on blush. And I think I have on highlighter. And I may have even contoured my nose. Sometimes I don't do that. But at minimum, I'll do mascara, concealer, and blush. Those are kind of like my top 3 makeup products. So anyway, yeah, I have on makeup. You may not be able to tell, which is the goal. You shouldn't be able to tell. You shouldn't be able to look at me and tell. Now I don't have on foundation, so you're not, like whatever. So you may be able to tell. But yeah, that's been a favorite of mine. And then of course I was tracking sleeping 8 hours, exercising, reading, studying, not drinking alcohol, consuming low carbs, taking my medications, my vitamins, my skincare, and journaling. And the only one I absolutely did not do was journaling, because I was even in my studying bag pretty heavily. In my reading bag, I read a lot of days in June. I studied a lot of days. I had a lot of no alcohol days. I had a lot of low carb days, yada, yada, yada. So those were the habits that I was tracking. Let me show you my June mood board, and then let's talk about my July goals. These were my Miami nails. So I do my nails about every 2 weeks. So these were my nails for the first half of the month, and then these are for the second half. I think this is funny because it's like, well, it's a pit bull and we have one. And first of all, that looks like our dog, but then I feel like that's me and my husband. I don't know. It's funny to me. And then I took a selfie. I literally never take selfies. Just me in a photo, unless it's for a thumbnail. Then of course I have to take a selfie. But on my phone, I just don't take selfies. And so I took a little. Oh, there's my two holes. Let's see. Our 11th dating anniversary. That was taken a couple days before that. So that's cute. This is us floating down the river. This is my friend, Jennifer, whose house I'm always at, and she has an in-ground pool, and so I actually need to make my way over to her house at least one day this summer. Like, girl. Let's see, that's us volunteering at the soup kitchen, my husband's aunt, my husband enjoying his pedicure. Oh, I went to my first Pride in June. I went with my friend who is not a part of this community either, but she goes to like Pride events and such, and so I don't know if I feel like she maybe has been asking me for years, but I don't really prioritize it. And so anyway, this activity was, it was kind of like a concert kind of thing. And so I was like, for sure, like, bet, count me in. And so I went to my first Pride. Oh, we tried crumble cookies in June, me and the girlies, my friend and godchildren. Oh, there are 2 of them. Well, here they all are. Yeah, okay, so that's my goddaughter, that's my goddaughter, and that's my goddaughter, and that's their mom. She has a twin, and that's her daughter. So as you can see, they were wearing some of my gold hoop earrings because we were just doing girly things. That's us on the cousin trip, minus one, which was the birthday girl. She's not in the photo, but that's me, my husband, his first cousin, her husband, his first cousin, his wife, who we have been hanging out with them for millennia. We went to college together. That's actually how I met him and how I met him, because he moved in with him. And anyway, that's how we met. And then that's his brother, who's also his first cousin, and his girlfriend. And then, we went to a free concert. We went to see Young Bloods, Pastor Troy, and Travis Porter. Now, if you're a millennial, then you might be going wild like me. But yeah, Travis Porter. Although I know they're not that big of a deal, but there was a free concert happening, and yeah, why not go to a free concert? That's my doggie and her little frenzies at boarding. This is actually her BFF, Sky, and I forgot his name, but that's my dog sitter's newest puppy. Well, he used to be a puppy. Now he's huge. I think his name is Milo. So she's always hanging out with these ones. Like if we do a day trip or whatever, those are her little friends. And then, oh, I'm like giving y'all a whole backstory. These two, these are their children. They were in town at her mom's house, and her birthday was at the end of May, so we threw her like a belated surprise party. That's my mother-in-law and me and my husband, and me wearing the same dress. Oh, I made boozy buckets. So these are buckets filled with, you can fill them with whatever you want. I put tequila in ours, and I put a seltzer, and then a sugar-free, like an ice. You know that ice? It's like a sparkling water kind of thing. I put that in ours. So you can make them as boozy as you want or whatever. Ours wasn't too boozy. Obviously, we had to be adults and such, but although we were at home. But those are boozy buckets that I made. I'm going to make some more for the family reunion when we're hanging out at the Airbnb. We're all going up the day before, so we're going to do our boozy buckets. I think the day before would be most appropriate because, you know, you don't want to, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some people, it's my family we're talking about. I'm sure there's going to be some people at the reunion who are boozy, but I just feel like the first day we're there hanging out at the Airbnb, we should do the boozy buckets, because the next day we're doing the cocktail class where we're making 3 cocktails, and I just feel like, yeah, we'll do that the first day. Is that all? Yeah, and that's it for my mood board for the month of June. For July, I want to take a personal day. I want to read 2 books, schedule my OBGYN, do my nails again. I want to do low carb. Family, we want to do all those projects. And then save $1,000, invest 15% of our paychecks. For relationships, schedule friend dates. I want to catch up with a friend, host my family and friends, book transportation for my niece, connect with a new family member. I'm like, what is that? That is when I go to our family reunion. For exam, now here's the thing. I may actually take my exam again in July. Maybe. I don't have to, but I might. And then I want to prep for back to school. I don't want to prep for back to school because I don't want to go back to school. I don't want to go back to work, but I need to do that. You know, for business, I want to secure 1 sponsorship. 1 is in the works, and I just signed a contract with Mint Mobile for July, so there's that. Publish 8 YouTube videos monthly, or this month, and then work out 3+ times per week. That's gonna be it for this video. I'm looking forward to July, not going back to work, but the family reunion and all of those types of things. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to July. I hope good things come from it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and if you're liking what you're seeing, and I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye guys.